During my time as a child psychiatrist, I joined in the active dismissal of parental alienation that everybody in my team and everywhere was doing, because we all thought it was a silly American idea, and it was just life and miserable, but it wasn't a mental health disorder or anything. When I was a family therapist, we got somebody phone up and said, "I've got parental alienation, can I get some help?" And I was delegated to say to him, "We don't believe in parental alienation, sorry." He was sensible with me, and he persuaded me to meet him, and then he sent me a textbook. And I thought to myself, if a professional needs to get a textbook from a client, then there's something quite far wrong. So for 10 years I've now tried to make amends for my career-long incompetence by working hard in this field without seeing clients to do court case or clinical work directly, but I'm involved at every other level: reading, writing, organising, networking, blogging. And I've just recently produced the paper on the one thing that I would say is the most simple way to deter it, and it's being done in Israel already, which is to make sure the family courts uphold the law, where at present everywhere pretty much they do everything except uphold the law. And basically that means the law says after separation a parent has a responsibility to support their child in a good relationship with the other parent, and that's the law. A court should not be involved in anything more complicated and sophisticated. Other people should be doing helpful things, but the law is not the right place to assess risk, and certainly not the place to do therapy. And as they're doing in Israel, they take a firm stand and consequences quite promptly, and what do you know, but the wider world realizes that something's happening, and people begin to work harder to obey the law. There's a lot of smoke generated, and the smoke doesn't really allow us to see more clearly what the facts are about what's going on in individual cases or in general. I would usually say it's one of many relationships that take you in and cut you off, and I do that because I have an interest to show that parental alienation is like domestic abuse, coercive control, child abuse, and it's also like what happens in gangs, in bullying, and it's also like what happens in cults and totalitarian regimes where coercive control is the core. And so I've sometimes tried to promote the idea that alienation as a word is what is the core of coercive control in all of these patterns. So relationships that take you in and cut you off. And the particular version of that is when one parent persuades their child to hate and reject the other parent when there's no good reason in a lasting way. And it's the most appalling experience for everybody, even though it looks as if the child is very happy if only their dad or their mum would get out of their lives. But that is such a weird thing for a child to say. A child who's really been physically or sexually abused wouldn't say that about the abusive parent. They might have strong feelings, but they would never say something so black and white, especially when it's only about they slam doors or something fairly innocuous.